Salutations, Utopians. Watching a little bit of play-in tournament today. Actually, watched both games. One of them is still going on right now. Want to make a more conscious effort of trying to get videos out in a timely manner. I know sometimes I kind of catch things outside of the window, which allows me sometimes to have more facts to speak on. But a game like this, I have a pretty good grasp of what I'm watching. Hawks versus the Bulls, even though it's the latter game and it's still going on. Kobe White right now, fourth quarter, triple five left on the clock, and he's at 37 points as we speak. Appears to be a welcome to the league moment. Like Zion had his first major playoff moment, even though these don't count towards the record books, which is unfortunate. In terms of playoff records, he definitely is letting people know that the moment is not too big for him as a combo guard. What I really appreciate this evening is his willingness to make the extra pass. Surprisingly, because he's so known for getting his shot off. I get as he embarks on trying to embrace a more permanent role with the roster. Also, the presence of Alex Caruso. One of my favorite quotes all time was Alex Caruso's explanation of the G League. And I'm paraphrasing, forgive me, but he stated that so many people in the G League are playing to be a franchise player, not realizing these franchises and organizations already have invested in their draft picks. And so what they're looking for is fillers, glue guys, so to speak. And so what they're hoping to do is find rotational pieces. And with that being said, as the season progressed, naturally so many injuries. As we all know, there's been so much turnover, rest, load management problems, to the point where the league had to instill certain protocols in terms of how things should go, to the point where Philadelphia has been fined in excess of over, I think, 200,000 now. Uh, Record breaking of its type for not properly reporting. It's gotten to the point where the next man up approach that normally we see in the NFL is happening in the NBA, and that's where the opportunity will be created for people to expand on their roles. But a lot of guys are in the G League performing like they're going to be the LeBron at the next level. And so Caruso's influence on Kobe White is clear, because Caruso is right now, according to Basketball Index, the number one on ball defender. And just watching him play, he's the guy that you want to teach your kids if they're on the come up, trying to break through in the NBA. He plays the basketball the way a coach's son would play. He makes the pass where he's supposed to. Tremendous defender, effort's always there, knocks down the open shot, etc. Just the things you ask for. Understand spacing, physical, tenacious, always locked in, ultimate team guy. And you can tell it's rubbing off on Kobe White, who naturally has a very Jordan Poole-like approach in terms of just, I don't want to facilitate, I don't want to do anything, I just want to get my buckets on all three levels, though very gifted. So you're seeing a clinic and an introduction tonight of his baptism into the league. Dom Su's a very entertaining player. I watched him, number 12 for the Bulls. Also, he's another guy who's just been tremendous in the NBA this season. I haven't seen anyone be able to stay right in front of him. He just has a knack for getting around people. Vucevic, DeMar DeRozan, everyone has brought their game today, and clearly, more than anything, sadly, Quinn Snyder, who was who was probably my favorite coach in Utah his final year. I mean, just his rotations and everything that he was doing with lineups and knowing when to sub people in. Utah ran a tight knit ship. I feel like Dejounte Murray favors more of his style, being a two-way player. Trae Young, there's just this aura, this vibe right now tonight, like this is his final game in Atlanta. I don't care what anyone says. The energy is just giving that. I know he's coming back from a quite a hiatus, but it just the body language, everything, the energy on the court is just giving like we have seen the last of him in Atlanta. If in fact that's the truth, I do believe that he's definitely given the Hawks everything they could have asked for. I believe he's made an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, maybe two. He's definitely overachieved. there's nothing to be embarrassed about. With Luka in Dallas, Luka's where he was best for him, and I think Trey has done so much for the city of Atlanta. But for them to really take their game to the next level, they're going to have to play without him to get that basketball, because the ISO James Harden style only can get you so far, and the Hawks are ready to pivot to the next level. I think his next destination needs to be somewhere where he can be protected by rim protectors. I personally think, with his stock so low, San Antonio so abundant, I could easily see them going after him and acquiring him, and he being protected by Wemby's mobility as a shot blocker and a tremendous pick and roll defender. We know Wemby's got multiple Defensive Player of the Year awards waiting on him. He's already in top categories in shot blocking this year, so he can mask a lot of Trae Young's deficiencies. Furthermore, they got some picks. I could see them getting Zach Edey and shoring up that entire front line and making it completely unfair on the league. And then you're really out, because he's got such great markability. I know a lot of people want to rumor him to the Lakers. I just think it would just be one big toxic show. If Anthony Davis doesn't play, they're going to be a layup line. And LeBron needs something. I would rather see them try to go for Ja or something like that. I've already voiced and expressed my opinion. Dillingham being available, if he falls to the Grizzlies, somehow I could definitely see them going with Dillingham and moving off Ja. They can't afford another shortcoming season with Brandon Clark returning and Jared Jackson, and Marcus Smart will be healthy. Bane, the whole gang. GG is got a bright future ahead of him. They're just too loaded to not to have another season where they got to punt once again. The city's anxious, live music capital, state, Tennessee. So they're just ready to party out there, and it's time to get back to it. And if they can get any production out the point guard, so I could see them, Ja becoming available, and that would be more of a better fit. Even though everyone's like trying to link Trae Young to the Lakers. All in all, congrats. I think the Bulls are as dangerous as anyone. Lonzo Ball's injury has been a big problem for them. They got plenty men down. I don't think they quite required from the Lauri Markkanen trade either. But what makes them very dangerous right now is the postseason is a game of strategy. It's a game of chess. And Billy Donovan is who I consider to be the diamond standard of basketball minds, whether collegiate or professional. And he's definitely as dangerous as anybody, because you got a lot of young coaches here, and I personally, I'm going to keep my reservation, but I'd like to really see the age gap return. I think everyone's trying to find that Sean McVay in their 30s type head coach, and I think it's time we get back to having a proper age gap between. I think that's what's missing between like teams like with Boston, for instance, needing some nitty gritty leadership. And maybe Marcus Smart was too strong of a personality. Terry Rozier is a little bit too radical of a personality. But they definitely need some old school grit and grind. Team that talented, not getting to the free throw line a couple of nights ago on TNT, really put everyone in an uproar. The other game this evening was... there was another game this evening. Forgive me, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Before this one, Philadelphia and Miami. On the eve of the news being dropped, no, not on the eve, post news of Olympic team, courtesy of the commissioner of the Olympic team assigned to make rosters, Bam Adebayo versus Joel Embiid. I was going to make a joke online, him looking like a Hakeem with the Raptors or Patrick Ewing with the Sonics, but I was like, let me chill. This is a gritty team. They're as dangerous as anyone. I think that Buddy Hield trade deadline acquisition really makes them scary, and it's funny because that 99 Knick run, not to show my age or anything, but that 99 Knick run in the lockout season where Sprewell and Houston went on a rampage and Marcus Camby's above the rim style suited the Knicks better than the half-court set that Patrick Ewing was running. It gives me that same kind of vibe. I felt like Paul Reed might have been more of the appropriate uh, matchup. I mean, lineup adjustment. As we all know, they got their first year coach from the Raptors, won a championship. I see his face. I can't remember his name, but you know who I'm talking about. Won a championship with Kawhi. Uh, Honestly, the Sixers are another dangerous team where, and I think like the winner between the Sixers and the Bulls is going to say a lot. Battle of the Central Division, I believe it is, uh, because you know at the end of the day, experience means something. Tyrese Maxey is really hungry. One thing about Tyrese Maxey, he strikes me as a gym rat. And so when you got a guy like that who breathes basketball, you can tell how bad he wants the moment. Him and Kobe White, ironically, would be the battle of the most improved player. And I don't think the award is going to be releasing before that showdown on Friday, I believe, or Friday or Saturday. So it would be really cool to watch them two duke it out. Tyrese is a junkie, basketball junkie. Tobias Harris needs to step up, though. He's in a contract year, and it's sad that class of '08 Nick Batum had to shoot lights out tonight just to save the Sixers. Um, because he was definitely a star performer. I think at one point it was 18 points in 21 minutes. Dude was lights out this evening, brought his A game. Miami, it was crazy because you're watching Kyle Lowry, you're watching Kevin Love. These are guys who've been around for many different chapters of the NBA, and Nick Batum kind of solidified. It was a very interesting matchup, I'm telling you, and so I'm very excited about for the Philadelphia 76ers because a lot is riding on this. I really do think like the reason why Joel Embiid might be playing right now because they really are not going to win a chip. But then again, you never know; they could catch fire. Is the fact that this might be the last time we see Joel in a Philadelphia 76ers uniform, and so a late run. If they lose in excruciating fashion, this might be the end of the process. And I think they wanted to give the fans that because there was really no incentive to rush him back like this. They're not fooling anyone, at least unless Tobias Harris turns into Chris Webber somehow and gets lights out. But from what I've seen, they do look really good when Embiid wasn't in the lineup. But at the end of the day, and then the signing of Kelly Oubre, man, what a last second addition that was by Daryl Morey. They signed him a week before training camp, and he's been not doing nothing but paying dividends. His off ball movement, being able to get open without needing the rock, is truly a renaissance and a living proof that people deserve second and third chances. He's definitely looking like a true professional. He's been through so much this year. As y'all remember, had an incident on an electric scooter. He was hit, and to see him, go out there and give them 11 productive points this evening. Those glue guys, it's always going to boil down to that. Everyone can be a star who actually knows how to play their role. He did such a great job in a complimentary fashion. So that was major. As far as Miami, Jimmy Butler getting injured, questioning whether he might have torn his MCL. It's kind of scary, but I'm looking forward toward seeing what Miami does this offseason. It was almost like the air was knocked out of them just from the Dame Lillard sweepstakes, and Portland really did them foul, sending him to Milwaukee because that wasn't his first addition, and it definitely looked like they could have used the Dame this evening. That swagger, that personality, the way he plays ball. So it's unfortunate that that trade never happened. It's been downhill ever since. They've had so many different variations. Fun fact: they were only second to the Washington Wizards in for clutch performance under 2 minutes. The Wizards obviously worse than statistically this year were the worst in the history of their franchise. Ironically enough, the Detroit Pistons were as well. So this was just a crazy year for Miami. So many call-ups from the G League, guys getting waived, Kyle Lowry, trades at the deadline for Terry Rozier. It never seemed to hit all cylinders with Rozier for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, the Heat tried to battle like they do in Heat culture, shape, and fashion, but they're going to have to go out and get themselves an elite prospect this year to match the timeline of Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. This was a short season for them, which many did not anticipate in the preseason. I maintain that Bam has to play the 4. He's more of a LaMarcus Aldridge than whatever they think they're advertising him to be at the 5. All right, Utopians, I know this is a little bit of a long-winded video. Apologies to that. I'll try to do better next time. Global out.